Well, welcome everybody to the 2018 Mercure City of Perth Masters, coming to you live from the Dewars Centre in Perth, Scotland. I'm Rob Niven, and with me today is Mary Milne, and we'll be giving you live coverage of Bruce Mouat of Scotland against Magnus Ramsfjell, the junior team from Norway.
Hopefully we've got a good attacking game in store here. Both of these teams, although Team Ramsfjell are a younger team than Bruce and his team are still relatively young, but they're quite experienced and quite attacking players, so I think we'll see a good game this afternoon, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams have obviously played here before. We're seeing Team Mouat lined up there. They've had a cracking season this season. They've won multiple events on the tour, and Team Ramsfjell from Norway too have had a good steady start to their season. They're clearly aiming their season at the World Juniors later on up in Aberdeen. They played last year's Juniors and did very well in last year's Worlds. So different team this year, new lineup for them. So there's a bit of a getting to know you with the team as well. We're just seeing the draw shot challenge here just now. So both teams are allowed to throw one practice stone, followed by a live stone to decide who gets the hammer, the last stone advantage. We're seeing Magnus Ramsfjell throwing the outturn here. We missed on the coverage watching Bruce Mouat's attempt. He actually drew the 4 foot with his practice stone, but he didn't make the I think he was back at 8 foot with his live stone. So this practice stone is just to get an idea of the line and the weight. We'll see the live stone for the last stone advantage coming right now.
They'd be happy with another one of those, I think, Rob. Obviously if they need to beat the back 8 foot, then if they can get 4 foot or closer, then all the good to them.
Yeah, it's a nice chance to get a feel for the ice as well. No pre-game practice on here, so it's the one chance to let the skip have a couple of throws.
And the sweepers, it lets them get their eye in, it lets them feel the surface of the ice. Often, they'll know roughly what the weight's going to be from watching Bruce's shots, but just getting out there and even following the stones up and down, it settles you as a sweeper so that you have an idea of what you're going to be looking at.
We've got some great coverage today. It's brought in conjunction with the World Curling Tour. Obviously our headline sponsors, Mercure Hotels and the Perth and Kinross Council.
This looks a bit steamy. I thought so when he let it go, but I didn't trust myself to make that call. But yeah, that's really quite different to his first throw.
It's very ironic that both teams ended up doing exactly the same. They were both heavier with their second stone, maybe just getting quicker on the track after running the stones, the brushes down it. By the looks of the players, that looks good enough for hammer. So I think we'll see higher standard drawing once the game gets live.
Yes, I would think so. We've got a full field of quite exciting teams, don't we? We've got 7 of the Olympic teams competing this weekend.
Yeah, that's right, Mary. It's an outstanding field, and it probably shows the importance of this competition, certainly on an annual basis, but definitely this year in the cycle where it lands a month before the Olympic teams all start departing from Pyeongchang in Korea. It's a great chance for Scottish teams to pit their best against these teams as well. So we're going to see the best curling that you can possibly see right here on our own doorstep.
Absolutely. And I think, like you say, this year particularly important, but it does come at a good time of the season for all the countries, with championships coming up in another couple of months. So yeah, it's always been a well-supported team event, but this year particularly so.
So we're seeing Team Mouat obviously starting the game here. They've newly formed this year. Bruce Mouat had a different team, albeit with Bobby Lammy, played with him last year at 3. He's dropped down to 2, and Grant Hardy's coming at 3rd with young Hammy McMillan, who played with Team Brewster last year. So the Olympics, once the team selection had been made, it caused a real reshuffling of the pack in all the Scottish teams.
Yeah, it gave the opportunity for change, where teams had maybe stayed together for a couple of seasons with the big drive to be in with a shout of the Olympics. But I think we've seen some of the shuffles have been very successful so far, not just this team. So it's nice to see the teams that have taken the risk and reformed, and they're reaping the rewards.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed about Team Mouat this season is how their sweepers have really bulked up, and obviously with the new pads that have come into play to sort of prevent the advantage of directional sweeping, but the guys that are sweeping are so strong now that they can still make the stones go round corners when they need to.
Yeah, I mean, they are working with the best of fabrics, obviously not one that's giving any team an advantage, but they are super efficient pads that they're using, and as you say, the fitness of the sweepers and all the curlers now is quite extraordinary, and it's again showing the game to be just going further and further forward, isn't it? With the abilities and the stones. All of these players can play all of the shots. You're not able to carry a person or a teammate that has a ropey hand or a ropey weight. They have to be absolutely on it all the time.
Well, you're seeing both teams go for it. The Team Mouat dropped the centre guard, and with no hesitation, the Team Ramsfjell came right round. Huge curl on the ice there, because Bruce Mouat indicated that Hammy might have thrown that first one a little bit high, which he probably has, and it's hung out there. Wee chance for Norway to get in with another.
Yeah, I mean, it's that centre guard isn't, it's almost centre, but it is off the centre line, which does give Norway a slight advantage, and with Hammy being just a little short there with the attempted freeze, we'll see what Norway do. But again, both, the red's still there for Team Mouat to use, so it's certainly not a disaster.
Yeah, I think the guard's actually a wee bit long as well. I think at hack weight, back rigging weight, you could probably come round that and knock it through, or certainly touch it back.
Yeah.
I like this call though. He could probably play the hit and spin, hit and roll across, but he's going for the freeze just to keep attacking.
I think, like you say, he's aware too. He's seen those stones come down and knows that yellow there sitting on the tee is not safe by any matter of means. Team Mouat can tap theirs at a canny weight. Now they've got a little bit of a different proposition with the 2 yellows right behind the guard there. So this is shaping up to be a really interesting first end.
Bit less ice here for Bobby Lammy's in turn. He's cut the ice by 3 inches maybe. Maybe that's just the way Hammy's first hung out there, or maybe it's just the throw.
Maybe looks a wee bit more
tight. High.
They're working this one.
Where are you? Weight's not bad. Whoa. Weight's not bad. Yep. Hard Grant.
Certainly there anyway. See, that stayed out high again.
Well, they were on it reasonably early. It probably didn't have quite enough weight, and they had to work it to keep it moving, and that obviously just held it out on the path. I think we've been finding curling in Perth this season that once the draw starts, you cannot stop it. So you're also sweeping to kind of preempt the big draw. So they'll take a little while maybe to just find their feet with that, the difference between the weight and the break point and when to sweep, just to know that they're getting it right. They're allowing the stone to curl, but they're able to hold it up as much as they need to. Well, this is
Ramsfjell taking no chances, and he looks like he wanted to remove it, but he's just jagged that back, and at any weight. Yeah.
Down that 4 foot line, we've seen that.
They stay straight, don't they?
Yeah. Year on year on year, it always, if you put it back towards that 4 foot line, then it's going to take a long time to try and come off it. So just that little bit extra weight, and as you say, maybe right out to the brush, and it's advantage to Team Mouat, I would say, even with those yellows right behind the guard. We'll see what Bobby can do.
Yeah, I'd really like him coming back in there with another freeze.
Maybe just if he could move that foot, you know, if he could pop that middle red up just to be a little bit closer to the other red. There's too many angles there for me. Not that I'm proficient with my angles, but you know, they catch those right. They can. There's enough space between them all that you would think that those reds could maybe go without taking too much damage. So I think he wants to move something just to cut down the space between the stones.
Yeah. Just as you were saying there, the angles don't look right, and I think that's why Bobby came down to have a look. I think it's important that the whole team is convinced in the call. We saw that at the last end there, that all 4 players were shouting out and speaking to each other about line length and the shot call. So never before has the game been more about a team than it is now, with the way the sweeping is so important.
Yeah, it certainly used to be the case at the front end where we're there and not to offer an opinion unless it was absolutely asked for. But now, as you say, the 4 players are all involved.
Cut the ice again on the sim turn draw, but the boys are liking it. They say it's a little bit heavy, but they like it, so.
Still taking all its time to draw there.
A nice roll across would be good.
Yeah.
Really nice.
That's a good looking shot.
Yeah.
That's the best you can do, eh?
I think we'll see Norway try and move something here. I don't think he'll want to have this building up the way it is.
No, I think he has to. You know, he could almost. He would be hoping to certainly move one, and if he could catch the other red on the right hand side there, then all the better. He'd be delighted with that. But we've seen this line. If it hangs a little straight, he could end up.
He's called hack this time, so maybe.
Still wanting it to draw quite a bit there, Rob.
Hack
I
weight.
wouldn't be surprised if we see this on the high side.
Nicer release.
Yep.
Well, they're on early, so it must be moving.
Yep.
That's going to really go.
He was maybe a little softer this time.
Yeah, soft release and probably lighter than hack.
Yeah. Well, we've still, you know, we've got a lot of both colour of stones in there. There's, I think there's a lot to happen yet before the end of this end.
Yeah, no fear from. We're seeing a replay of the Norwegian stone there. Just over curled on them, but I think, like you suggested, a soft release and probably even just a bit lighter weight.
Yeah.
Grant Hardy's first stone here. They're obviously calling that freeze into the pocket again. I think if they get it in there, it's going to be impossible to move it out. And even if he does touch his own one up, it will freeze onto the shot stone.
This is moving again, and it looks a little short, do you think? Though?
Yeah. Just lighter weight.
Yeah.
It's not daft there, though.
It's not doing any harm, but.
Yeah, they really wanted it up, touching it.
I didn't. Just tried to rotate it. Slide really heavy, like.
Yeah, the boys are puffing, but their recovery, you know, I don't think it matters that they get out of breath, does it? It's the recovery that matters, and they'll be back ready to go by the time it's Grant's second stone. Quite a difference for him playing third this year. He's skipped for a couple of seasons now, hasn't he, Grant? And successfully last year. So to take the decision to play third was it's a big decision.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think when they first lined up, the jury was out on which order they were going to play, and they were happy to all play together. They knew each other, but they hadn't played with each other. And I think the first tournament they played in that lineup, and clearly it worked, and they haven't changed it since. So,
No.
I think the beauty of the lineup, the way they've got it, is that, like you say, Grant is experienced playing skip. So if anything changes, if one of them drops out, they can swap it around. Bobby Lammy obviously played with Bruce as third, so he's got experience at the top end of the team too. And you'll see him giving an opinion now and again as to what the shot should be, which
Well,
is
that's
always
it.
good.
They've got a great, relationship. Bruce and Bobby. They've played together for a few seasons now, and they know each other. You can't buy that, can you? The comfort of playing with people that you know inside out, and that one's.
Yeah, that looked a little bit high as well. Just in these interns, they really can't afford to jag them back, and I think that's what happened there. It just ran straight because he popped it out there. So
You're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, though, Rob, aren't you? You can't soft handle it. You can't be inside, and maybe they're thinking, okay, I've got to be right out there and make sure I'm putting enough handle on to hold the stone, but it's the balancing act, isn't it? You know, if you're up for weight and a little bit out, then you're not going to get much from it. But this is looking good for Team Mouat at the moment.
yeah, playing enough weight here to the nose hit gets them the double. The inside roll wouldn't be terrible either, but now's a chance to get that one out the 4 foot. So I think he's going to be going nose hit.
They don't have the luxury of last stone, so they have to try and do everything they can to make sure they're in a position to force the one at the worst for them, isn't it?
Pretty good shot, really.
Yeah,
They kept the counter in play, and it's not looking good for the Norwegians at the moment. But you know, they've still got a couple of shots to bail out of this yet. There's potential double on the Reds at the top that would leave them line second shot. So. And they could end up line 2 in behind the corner guard. So I think I like your first shot. I think I like your first shot more, Magnus.
Yeah, you perhaps get a wee panic on though, don't you, when you see 4 reds and 1 yellow, and you think, you know, on an E10 game, you can't really. Well, if you're going to lose a big end, the first end's the time to do it. But you don't want to give a team of Mouat's calibre that much of a head start. You know, he wants to try and keep this down to a 1 or 2 point game and end, and he obviously wants to still make a score himself at this stage.
Well, I'm just thinking he needs to keep himself a road in. He's got last stone, so as long as he's got a home to get into the 4 foot, he's that's a good shot.
Yeah, that's worked out nicely for him.
I mean, he's still line 2 against, but he's got counters in there that can bail himself out of this. But he needs to leave himself a road in.
I know, you're wondering if he could. Yeah. I think that yellow checking onto the red there does give him a little bit of comfort that even if the yellows go, that red's going to move, you would think.
Yeah, coming into that pocket again does no harm.
And they know the ice in there now, so this should be, you know, it's a comfortable shot for Bruce to play.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting line 2. He's still playing the force end effectively.
Yeah.
He's got all the cards. He puts another draw in here. I don't think he wants to move too much.
No, I think you're right. And tempting as it is, when you think, oh well, we've got 3, perhaps we could. You know, we could steal a couple here. He has to just work on the premise that when they started this end, they'd have been looking to try to force or steal. If, you know, they don't want to go all out for a steal at this point when a force is potentially good enough to let them then get control of the second end and shape the game the way they want it to go.
Line's okay. Line's
You see all 4 players talking to each other again here.
Yeah, sweeper's communicating the weight there, and
that one's definitely going to curl.
Looks like it's going now.
Yeah. Well, we're just helping it on its way there.
Difference in that's the first stone that we've seen get there at draw weight by
swept.
itself, without being swept, and it just maybe it was half a pound heavier than he'd actually looked for, but it certainly was there, but it creates a little bit of an opening again, doesn't it? It allows
there's a wee chance here.
Allows Norway to play a hit and maybe turn this end around again. It's certainly swung in each of their favours at various points.
Well, the hit's going to. I think that yellow is not staying, so he may well move to 2 reds, but he'll still be up against it, so he maybe doesn't want to play the hit at full speed. Bumper weight maybe, and just try and move them around and try and keep another yellow in play.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting. He's pointed out that lone red on the right hand side. You know, if he came down and froze on there, would that give him a chance of? Then Bruce is going to have to hit something or do, maybe make a play where he's got the left hand side. He can come down, and if he was perfect, tap, and this right hand side. But he's obviously going for a hit.
It's not a lot of ice.
There's a big weight coming. I should think.
I think he's maybe thinking about his last stone, leave himself a way in. That it's still not shaping up too well for him. So as long as he can get into the 4 foot with his last, he doesn't mind the force at the moment, I don't think.
Yeah, you've got to back yourself, don't you, as a skip, that if you've got a road to the 4 foot, that you're going to make your draw. So if this clears him a path, then he's going to be confident that he can actually make use of it.
Yeah, controlled weight. There wasn't a lot of ice, but we've seen some of the Norwegian stones run straight down here, so that was a cleaner throw.
Okay, wow.
Well, it's opened it up. That's the kind of weight I thought he would be throwing, but he just it overcurled on him a wee bit, and he didn't get the action he wanted. I think he wanted to leave that yellow up at the top.
Yeah, I think it gives him options though, Rob. I mean, Bruce has to see if he comes right in, that's probably his best situation, isn't it? It's his best option.
I don't see the draw to the 4 foot.
No. But he's been forced into taking a couple of inches more ice. If this runs straighter, then I think there are options for Norway, but at the moment it's certainly...
Well, that's obviously where they're wanting it to rest, where Grant had his brush there. They can leave it longer. If they leave it longer, then it's covering maybe a part of both shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult to kind of see a straightforward shot for Ramsfjell if this stone of Bruce's ends up in the right line, even if, as you say, it's a little bit shorter. He's going to have to try and ping something.
He might have to tap on that yellow, which is, they're defending the inside of it at the moment. He may have an outside chance of getting a nose hit onto it. They're straight on that.
Yeah. And they're obviously thinking that the weight is
Keep it moving, Harvey.
it's drawing now.
Whoa then.
It's going to overcurl, I think.
We saw that. That's what we were talking about. Once it started to draw,
it goes.
It really did.
So that's left in the shot that we talked about. The tap on that yellow for his 1. He's still going to make it. He's currently line 2 again, so I think he'll like this. We know what it's doing.
Yeah. No, maybe it's a case of they were caught out a little, just an inch outside the 4 foot line was running quite straight, and sometimes when you go that little bit further out, you get a little bit more draw. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up over the next few ends, and if that is indeed the case, that there's more of a draw the further out we're going.
Yeah, well, certainly Magnus Ramsfjell's taking more ice than even Bruce did with his in turn there. So, but of course he can afford to catch it on the high side and just tap it. He needs to tap it about the width of the stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it needs to be fully in. Well, the top one is fully in, isn't it? So you need a little bite of the button, really, I think.
Taking more ice again from the hack.
Yeah, not the stone you would maybe want for your last stone in the first end, but
I think the one thing is he's seen 6 interns down this track here, so he's got good knowledge on the speed and the line.
Mm-hmm. Looks like plenty weight from the release, but
yeah, the boys are on it, but they're just nursing it at the moment. More about line than anything now.
yeah, it looks like it's beginning to draw now.
I think they like it. Yeah, cracking stone.
super shot. That's yeah.
What a great end of curling.
Yeah, I mean, was there 2 hits in the whole game, and everything else was played sort of draw to slight tap back weight. It was yeah, it was good.
Yeah, both teams going head to head, and actually the skip stones, the last 2 stones, are what decided it. Bruce's stone overcurled it a little bit and left that opening. Maybe a little bit. If he left it a little bit higher, that shot wasn't on, and he would have to play a circus shot to get out of it. But it's all about the skips.
Bruce will be reasonably comfortable, you know.
Oh yeah.
They were lying to, and obviously they would like to have stolen, but they forced the one. They take last stone in the second end and can try and control the game a little bit more from this position. So I think we'll see another. Yeah, I think we'll see another attacking end here.
It'll be interesting to see where the Norwegian team place their first 2 stones, whether they're going to go top 4 with this, and presumably Team Mouat will go corner guard. So they may be tempted not to go centre guard. They may just put this top 4.
Certainly looks like it's got plenty weight at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The sweepers are
they're right off
are
it.
happy to leave it be.
That might be back line rather than top 4.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, that certainly gives Bruce the choice. He can now do exactly as he's not chasing anything. He's well and truly in control.
Yeah, this was always going to be corner guard. But it's almost a free corner, almost a free corner guard, because with nothing to move later in the end.
That's right.
Run!
So he's looking for this to draw a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think it'll swing a lot in the last 2 feet, so he'll be happy enough with that.
Maybe it over-iced it just a little.
Yeah, Bruce is holding his hand up for that one. Always good to tell the team if he's thrown it well, and just acknowledge the fact that it's only the second end. I over-iced you.
I think it was maybe a combination then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, from what Bruce is telling us there, we'll say it's a 50-50. The weight was good, so that was a positive.
Well, the joy of this coverage of having the players mic'd up as well. You get the live action from the World Curling Tour of these guys actually talking you through their shots even after they've thrown it.
We'll hopefully not have to apologise for any colourful language from either of us or the players.
Yeah, nice control of weight there from Andreas Harstad. He was obviously heavy with his first, but he got his weight adjustment right for the
really
second.
well.
Probably top 12 just now.
Bobby obviously thinks that was a little bit. It looks heavier.
Still top 12. Line's fine. Line's good.
Yeah, he's right enough. It is just top 12. But oh, they've done well. They've taken that a long way. That's a cracker.
Yeah, lovely. Well swept.
Are you surprised that Ramsfjeld's come right in behind the corner guard there? I suppose it's not too far corner. They've got to go. I wondered whether they might have.
They might have thrown another or tied with the centre. It certainly would have given him a nice amount of cover, because as we say, it's not a pure corner, that guard from Hammy. They would have wanted it out a little bit further. So yeah.
The important thing he's top of the tee line, so he's got control of the end, but this just looks a shade heavy. It's going to get a rub off it.
Not even going to touch it yet.
No.
Is it going to sit in the background? Just about.
Yeah, that's an error.
Yeah, and unfortunately that was their second player there. Struggled a little in the first end too. So he's maybe just going to take a little while to settle down. Michael.
So the call here is to come right down on top of it again. They're not tempted to play up weight and try and tap it back yet. I think they'll just be playing the freeze.
Yeah, I think it's early in the end, isn't it? They don't want to.
A slight bounce wouldn't do any harm, but I'd like to see it just welded right on top of that.
Weaver in!
They want to, you know, they know that later on in the end, these guys are such accurate hitters. If they need to raise that, you know, the guard in, then that's exactly what they'll be wanting to do. If they get them in a line, then that gives them the chance to do it. But this is.
Oh, they're around it.
Yeah, I think obviously thinking it was just a little higher than it needed to be, so they would take it right back. And actually, that's you know, it's taken that back yellow out of play altogether. So that's not. I don't think that's a disaster. It's not.
No.
It's not what they wanted, but it was well managed by Bruce there to make sure that they were passed, because chipping that top red was absolutely not what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
God plass. 4 fram. Helst ikke. Nå god plass. Helst ikke. Okay, bedre linje. Bare.
So another chance to get this frozen on that could potentially save the end for them.
Still looks a little wide. The weight looks good, but they definitely need that to pull a long
Yeah,
way.
they need to drag it. It's going to drag though. They're getting it.
Yeah, coming now.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, super adjustment as well. There.
We hitting that though. Maybe both yellows go, and they really needed it to be further across, as you said. A nose hit on this, and
Nose is all right.
we could be seeing
I don't think it's a move for you at all.
3 reds.
I see how it's max out.
Yeah, I think we'll not be hanging about here.
Very solid, consistent throw.
He's a super player, Bobby Lammy. I was out at
Touch
the
high.
World University Games last year, where he was playing third for Bruce's team, and they won the competition. But he was so solid that week. That was possibly not one of his best, but I'm sure he'll come back the next end.
Well, it was funny, they did say when they called the ice that this is the maximum amount you're going to need. So perhaps they should have been braver, but no chances here from Team Ramsfjell. Cutting numbers down, they can see they're exposed to a 2 against here. They've really got to hit and stick.
It's quite intense sweeping. It's that is certainly not what they wanted. That must have drawn a long way, although he was on it fairly
Right
quickly.
from the start, yeah.
Perhaps just struggled to get out there to the stone.
So Team Mouat playing a down weight this time. They're playing a hack weight, so they'll try and come across the face so that they avoid jamming the yellow and the back red. So Grant Hardy wants to be just inside centre on this and probably get a slight roll, but
yeah, are we checking behind the guard, or do you think they'll not be too worried about that?
I don't think they're too worried. I think they just need to avoid the jam on the back. They're going to hold it the other way.
It must be close, because when you get the yes/no, you know that.
Yeah, they're going the other way, across the top of it and roll away from the guard.
That's super. That was a lovely weight, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
That's the beauty of playing that weight. You can control it with sweeping. You can decide whether you're going to go either, the inside or out. And clearly, the throw was maybe just positive down to the brush, so that let them go out the way.
I think the risk there is if they go behind the corner guard, they're setting a double up on the Reds, and also it's the only hiding place that the Norwegians have. So trying to keep it clean, keep it open, and avoid leaving doubles.
Yeah. It's so long as well, isn't
great
it?
shot.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
That was a real bonus for them. Bruce will go around the corner guard now for sure, because he's got the stone spread wide enough apart. So
You give my draw shot the first one.
That's right, and he can obviously try and keep it on a level with the stone there out on the right as we're looking at it. So yeah, this is still a fairly positive position for Team Mouat. I think at this point they would be looking to definitely be scoring 2.
yeah, it's interesting. This is the track that Bruce had his draw shot down the in-turn here. So Grant just asking for a little bit more ice than they used in the draw shot. So it'll still be quite a quick track.
Sweepers are a little bit up and down. That's always, you know, you would think that it's quite close, but they're needing to.
Yeah, it's all about the line, isn't it?
Now. Yeah.
Just that extra ice they took, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I don't think the Norwegians will see the inside of it, and that's what they would need if they were looking to double off it. So yeah, that's good enough, I would say.
Yeah, especially when the yellow's back there, that even if they do catch half of it, the chances are they might just jam it in the back. So I think they have to hit the open one, and if they lose a 2 here, they lose a 2, but they can't afford to go for the half stone and lose a 3.
No, you're right.
They've got room to cover. They can hit and roll across the whole of the house there. Maybe end up behind the red.
If they could get in behind the 2 reds, then you know that's going to give Bruce something to think about. And yeah, I would think they'll not want to be nosing this stone. I think they need to get a little bit of movement off it.
But we've seen any mistakes have happened when they've been in between weights. So I think we're going to see his normal strike weight here.
It's not a confident release, is it?
No.
It's a fairly, interesting release. But
Yeah, just got that nose hit. So is he line shot? Is he not line shot?
yeah, I think it looks like it's shot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's always difficult to tell from up here, and obviously the angle of the camera is not right over the centre.
They might have been tempted to come round the guard again if it hadn't been shot. So will he go nose hit or will he go hit and roll? I think nose hit's good enough.
Yeah, I think, you know, and then he's asking Ramsfjell to play a big roll, and he's going to have to cut his ice to do that, and then maybe get too much of a draw. So no, I think Bruce would be delighted here if he can get the nose hit. Not much ice.
No, well, they've just watched a slide down here, and on the up weights, these sweepers are able to hold it.
Bruce doesn't think that he's inside.
He just needs to beat the back yellow. He's just got to be aware not to roll too far to the left here. Yeah,
very good.
probably good enough. That's as far wide as he could go without not being second shot.
It took the nice wee spin inwards as well, didn't it? The last gasp there, which was fine.
So Magnus Ramsfjell cut his ice a little bit more here, so he's playing less than the full stone. So I don't think he'll be nosing it this time.
No, he has to gamble on the roll this time, doesn't he? Again, that
Funny little release when he lets go of it.
yeah.
I think because of that, it's getting an unnatural roll out the way.
Yeah, I mean that's the wrong side of the stone. Really, he wanted to be hitting the inside of that stone.
Yeah.
So that's not going to give him a lot of joy going forward. They're going to have to work out whether they need to drop their weights a little, or you know, they're going to have to make an adjustment. They haven't really hit these stones where they want to.
So it's left Team Mouat with a straightforward, should be straightforward draw to the 8 foot. I think he's called the line for
Bruce,
the
you're thrown here.
the button.
Right in the button.
Yeah. So throw the ice for the button, and if you're slightly heavy, you've got the yellow to come back onto.
That's not a lot of ice, is it? They're
No.
not thinking that down that 4 foot line it's moving much at all. This will be interesting actually to see.
Well,
how
actually,
much it does go.
Bruce's outturn at the first end curled quite a lot, so they do throw a positive handle, but
Yeah.
We only.
I think there's plenty of room there regardless.
Well, the guard's long enough, isn't it? But
The boys like
You
it.
look heavy. You've got no backing. Good.
Yeah, they've got that yellow to come back onto. I think it might have overcurled
you know
past
that would
it.
have gone That would have gone quite a lot if it had been T-weight.
Yeah.
You'd have been looking at surely the, you know, right over in the corner of the forefoot. That's interesting.
Really was not a lot of ice, but did the job. They got their 2.
Perfect. Yeah, they'll be quite happy with that. That's a pretty solid 2, really. They didn't have to do when you're just playing a draw to a fairly open house for your 2. You're quite happy with that.
Yeah, the Norwegians didn't do an awful lot wrong there. They a couple of half shots when they had the chance to get hitting sticks and hit and roll behind guards, and they ended up rolling out, which gave Bruce Mouat an easier shot with his last couple of stones. Nose hit followed by an open house draw. So
at this level, you can't be rolling out. You know,
no.
Even if he'd not got right behind the cover with his last stone, he had to make sure that he was in play and making Bruce play a shot, I would have said.
So with the lead of 2-1, will we see centre guard again from Hammy McMillan? They're going to keep attacking.
I'd like to think so. I mean, they've controlled both ends, really, haven't they? You know, Ramsfjell played a great stone with his last stone in the first end to score, so I think that Team Mouat will be feeling fairly confident and think, you know, if we can throw a good end together, we can put these young Norwegians under a bit of pressure, and I think that's the right way to go. You have to kind of, fortune favours the brave a little, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, they've got tighter with their guard as well, which probably shows a little bit more defensive minded. Overcurled slightly, but they'll be happy with where it is. It's going to bring the game closer to the house. I'd like to have seen Ramsfjell go corner guard even so, but they're going to come round. They're going to persist the same tactic.
Yeah, it's putting a lot of pressure on his players. You know, to come in and start chasing the end so early, they're not giving themselves an awful lot of room for error here, because this is playing right into Bruce's. I mean, we've gone back T here a little bit. This is just playing into Bruce's hands, I fear. I think, as you say, the corner guard would have been the call there, even just to mix it up, change it a little.
Well, you try and do what the opposition don't want you to do, and I think that's exactly where Bruce would have liked it to have been, back at the forefoot there with a centre guard up.
Absolutely.
You put a corner guard up there, and Bruce has always got a problem. Although this looks like it's over curling, it might catch in his own one. Yeah, they're calling it for line, but I think it's weight's been the issue here.
Yeah, that's a little shy, certainly. That's unfortunate. But it does give them, you know, 2 fairly centre-ish guards. That's surprised by this call.
Yeah. Well, keeping the stones apart. He's maybe thinking that Team Mouat will go run back and try and get the one off the button, open the thing up, and just try and keep a counter in play. This is why the corner guard of his first call would have been better. I guess. I'm still thinking if this one comes up short, it might be a better shot than actually going in the house.
I think so. I think that you're saying to Mouat that you're not gonna.
It is. It's a corner guard. That's okay.
Yeah, I think that's a better call. As you say, you know, he's relying on a mistake from Team Mouat. This way, he's going to be able to dictate a little bit of the play and force Mouat into perhaps more difficult shots. If you go out there, you're giving a hit and roll opportunity, back behind cover, you're giving a double opportunity. I think that was maybe a junior call, without being too, you know, not meaning to be cheeky. But I think a young call. I don't think you'd see many of the older heads making that call.
No hesitation from Team Mouat with the run back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, breakdown in communications. Let's open it up, but now we're going to see Ramsfjell go round the corner guard.
Yeah,
which
the
is,
angle's not good now for the run back on those reds. So I think, yeah, Ramsfjell gets round this corner then.
Great chance for 2. Great chance for Michael Mellemsetter as well, just to get his weight back, get a little bit of confidence.
So his last draw in the previous end was super, though. It was a great weight.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, well, the sweepers are thinking this is all there.
Might actually be on the guard. Yeah, he's passed it. Oh,
Ooh,
that helped.
Well, that was a good bit of management there as well.
Slowed it down as well. And
well called by the sweepers if they were communicating the fact that it needed the rub.
I think it always looked hot, didn't it?
Yeah. So, as we both know, there's always more than one way to get behind a guard.
Sometimes that's the easiest way.
Yeah.
That side's curling a little more, Bob.
Behind the tee, so not perfect for Ramsfjell.
In fact, I really like barrier. Okay.
Okay, so the team's calling a kind of lower weight, bumper weight. Lammy knows he has to hold this shooter in play to potentially avoid Ramsfjell's team coming around that corner guard again. Yeah, it needs to curl.
So obviously the boys are thinking it's high there, aren't they?
Sweeping for the curl, but it's just going to nose.
Now does Ramsfjell?
Yeah, I think we saw the experience of Mouat at the last end, and a similar opportunity went away from the guards. I think Ramsfjell maybe wants to be going away from the guards rather than in behind. If he goes in behind here, he's still back tee.
Yeah.
Mouat's going to come right on top of it. So.
And the guards aren't sitting well for Norway at the moment to split them off, and you know you're going to have to waste a stone, maybe chasing a stone in behind those behind those guards. So. Halfway to what he wanted.
Yeah, I mean I think Mouat will still be able to see the inside of it just. Yeah. So he can either play the hit and roll in behind the guards, or even get right
can go
across.
All the way over,
yeah.
Can't he?
Grant Hardy, obviously, good season in his own right as well. Won the World Mixed earlier on in the autumn. So he's had a good year as well. Absolutely. And then when the team come together, first Scottish men's team to win a slam this year out at the Boost National. Oh, that's just shaved the guard.
Yeah. And winning's becomes a habit, doesn't it? You know, you're used to winning. You've got the confidence that you can win. You know that you've got all the shots in your locker. It's a happy position to be in. Yeah,
that was an outstanding shot again. They were probably closer to the guard than they really wanted to be, but it's right behind that cover. And like you suggested earlier, the Norwegian boys are going to have to use up a stone getting these guards off. Great sweeping. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, the boys have recognised how good a season they've had, and they've said, well, we're the teams that aren't under any pressure at all, and every tournament they turn up to, they've got that no fear and nothing to lose attitude, and they know when they're playing against teams, we've got 7 Olympic teams here, they're going to be the teams that are under pressure.
Well, that still leaves one of those guards, I think, doesn't it, Rob?
Yeah, there's still going to be a guard up there, but he's moved it off the centre
now
line.
Open, yeah.
I don't like the run or half round. I don't like the guard, I like the run.
Here's this guard that they were so reluctant to throw, and it's the one stone in play at the moment that Bruce doesn't like. He could probably come round it, freeze on it, and kill the end off completely, but he still sees this being the threat stone, so at 2-1 he still wants to run it back.
It's interesting, isn't it? You know, you would think that, well, I guess if he runs it and gets a cover on his own red, then that's absolutely perfect. But
they're just so confident in their own ability at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Although it's left the guard, hasn't it? You know, it gives Ramsfjell's now got the chance of he can move this one and go either way.
Yeah, brilliant shot. Like you said, there was a couple of options on there. He could have not even picked it and rolled the red into the centre to guard the stone, take the corner off.
Pressure back on the young Norwegians, though.
So they have 2 options. They can roll behind the centre or roll to the corner guard again. They called the brushes early and then came off, so I suspect that it started, the call was to go the high side and roll behind the corner, and once it over curled, plan B was round the centre.
It's pretty good for round the centre, though, Rob. They're
Oh,
not
it's
going to be
perfect.
disappointed with that. So,
Was just
yeah.
inside of his didn't move at all.
Nice weight. It wasn't supercharged. It was just a nice positive throw. And
Normal.
seen another run back.
Yeah, they're just so confident, aren't they? There's still a good degree of separation between those stones. It looks easy from behind the glass, but he's got to absolutely nose hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he does, if he absolutely sticks this, though, that really,
All right, yeah.
it really makes it tricky for Norway, doesn't it?
Well, we saw it earlier on Bruce Mouat's outturn. They iced them just a little bit too much. This time they're just taking centre of the rock, and he will not be soft handling this one.
Yeah.
They're working it hard.
Yeah,
They're getting their money's worth out of Bobby, and he's sweeping.
yeah, they called it early just to keep the red in play, so they've got plan B there. It's taking the guard off and they're around the corner, but
I like this. I like that Norway are thinking just get right round there.
oh yeah,
And, you know, it's an ideal opportunity for them. And all because of that guard that he didn't want to throw.
yeah. I mean, he doesn't actually have to be right round it as long as he's not going to leave a double on here. T-weight, he should be nailed on for his 2. Just going through his visualization and concentration, and very soft handle.
I don't love his release. I would have to say it's not.
Well, I think what happens when you release it like that, it overcurls so much because it's so soft when you let go of it. It takes more of the swing. And we're seeing that here, that it's curling a lot more than some of the other ones we've seen. It's still perfect. Yeah, T-weight. So he's not right round the guard, but he didn't need to be.
Yeah.
Is there enough angle there for the double?
Yeah, I'd be a little worried that, you know, it seems to be sitting quite high, doesn't it?
It's quite flat, but he's going to have to be big weight. But no, can throw the big weight.
3/4.
Yeah, you can see. Even if he gets a good hit and roll to sit on top of it, Rob, it makes it difficult for Ramsfjell to score the 2, even if he's lying second, you know.
More.
Yeah, I think this is going to be full strike weight.
Close. Close. Yep.
Lots of rotation to try and hold it up there. Oh, great effort. Just shows you, though, it was pretty flat.
It was flat, wasn't it?
He almost needed to be even heavier than that to try and move them both. He hit it in exactly the right place.
Yeah.
Actually, probably needed to catch less of the stone to get more action, even though he may well have lost his own shooter that way. And try and almost hit it on the back of the stone to get it out.
Yeah. We've seen Ramsfjell struggle to get a hit and stick, though, so he's changed his hand from the one he was playing on the previous end, so it'll be interesting to see here if he can actually make his 2 with a solid takeout.
Well, it was a tricky line down here before. When you cut the weight, it could curl, but if you were aggressive with the handle you throw, it could stay out. He's throwing just a barrier weight to try and hold the shooter, so...
Yeah, I think this will move a lot. That was a really soft handle.
Oh dear, that's going to curl. He's got it, though.
He's made it.
Well, that's good. He's got his 2 back.
Yeah, keeps the game interesting.
Good end of curling from the Norwegian boys. They played well there. They put the corner guard up there reluctantly at the start, but they went right round it as soon as they got the opportunity.
Yeah, once it was in play, they used it properly, didn't they? They didn't kind of think, well, that wasn't what we wanted, so we'll do something else. I think that was...
They didn't really miss a shot at that end because after they'd got the corner guard up there, they twice went round it and twice made the shot. So, yeah, they've got to be happy with that. That'll settle the nerves down a wee bit. They'll be straight back onto it. I think they'll certainly go centre guard again this time, but I think they'll be wanting it just 2 feet tight, just a little bit tighter. I mean, the stones are curling round, so they don't want to leave it too long.
Yeah, I hope they play the guard. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the last end he threw top 4 when he had last stone, didn't first stone. So it'll be interesting to see what they opt for. Needs to draw quite a considerable way to get onto that centre line. They're working it hard, but yeah, I think we're going to get... I think they wanted it, obviously, in the house.
Yeah, they did. I would have liked to have left that, just 18 inches, 2 feet short.
Yeah.
Great live coverage again that we're bringing you from the 2018 Mercure City of Perth Masters, coming from Dewar Centre in Perth. It's great production again from the World Curling Tour, bringing this all over the world.
Drop it at all.
Great communications we're hearing from the players being mic'd up, but already the sweepers there are telling us what Hammy had cut his weight when he's going to this corner guard, so they like it.
Yeah.
Line's still fine. No.
Yeah, this one we've got right off the centre line this time. You know, it's the first sort
You
of
thought there's no swing going that way.
pure corner guard we've seen, isn't it? It's possibly even a little bit further out than they would have liked.
I really like it where it is. I think it's wide enough that if Bruce has to play a draw to the 4 foot on that out turn, it's not in the way, and yet you can still get round it and create your 2 off the in turn. So I think it's pretty good there. It's now up to Norway to put enough pressure on that they never get the chance to use it.
Yeah. And the sweepers like this one, they're obviously quite confident that the weight's good, and it's certainly coming on to centre line. They'll want it to stop pretty soon, I would think.
Yeah, happy with the longer guard this time.
Slight over curl.
Yeah, they've been unlucky. It just drifted at the end, wouldn't it? I think they'd like to have swept it for line, but they wanted it as a centre. And that pressure that I was saying they needed to keep on Mouat, they've just probably just released that a wee bit, where Hammy's got a chance to hit this and maybe get a hit and check behind that corner he's just left up there.
Well, that's it. If they hadn't been quite so determined to get that first stone in, you know, it would have been a position that maybe it wasn't ideal, but Hammy wouldn't have got the chance to hit this here.
Yeah, they worked out well to get that, keep that on the straight side, power sweeping there. They caught it just on the nose, so it's probably not in the house at all, but
second player now.
Yeah, they can move it anyway, but they'll be happy just to nose this or even half check behind so that there's no easy hit on it. Double guard would be good for Norway just now.
Yeah, they need to try and create something this end, don't they, to take full advantage of having made their 2 in that end, the previous end, and if they can force or sneak a wee steal here, they would be feeling quite confident.
Yeah, pretty decent. I think he probably wanted to roll slightly the other way rather than there, but
the same amount in the way would have probably suited them just a little bit better.
I think again on that out turn release he's just jagged it back a little bit. It's good enough because it's enough of an irritation that Team Mouat want it out of there. They can't afford to leave it, so whilst there's a chance to come round the guards, they're still wanting to keep control of this end here. They don't want to be sucked into a force. Not on the even numbers at the moment.
No, that's it. They want to, they'd be looking to score their 2 or blank on the 4th here, wouldn't they? Yeah, that wasn't what they...
No, I think they wanted to roll one way or the other.
They're just always on the nose.
Sometimes there's stones like that, isn't it? You feel it doesn't matter what you do. You could sweep it all you like, you could do whatever, and it's still always gonna hit the nose. So now are we coming round this time?
Yeah, chance for Michael Mellemsetter to get round this guard.
His draw weight has been a little questionable, but these last couple have been better, so we'll see.
This is a great chance, a keystone for the end. If he can get round this, then it's really going to give them advantage. Yeah, it's too big, it's too deep.
You know, the sweepers had a part to play in that, although they didn't sweep it that much, but they were both keen to sweep that, where really it didn't need any help at all from them.
12.
I think the line was good. It's right behind the guard. It's just too deep.
Yeah, line's lovely.
Interesting shot here. He's coming right through the port. We've just seen him play this track on the outturn, so bit of hack weight, maybe
Well, certainly think that he's either a little up for weight or a little out
bit
there.
more, isn't he?
Whoa, Grant! Whoa!
Oh, it's close.
That's not a bad result.
No, they'll be to get both stones in.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
call,
that
Bruce,
was
indeed.
well managed. Think a little bit more weight, yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's
it
what
was
Bruce
just
was
heavier than
saying.
Bruce was expecting. Yeah,
Probably near a barrier, wasn't
yeah.
it?
And Bobby Lammy will be saying, well, it stayed straight. My first one did. We didn't learn enough from the first one, but actually it was a great plan B, because it split the two stones in, and it's forced Ramsfjell to try and clear one of them away.
Yeah, which leaves his other yellow vulnerable depending on what happens here. Well, yeah, you see, wrong side of the stone again, probably for them, wasn't it?
It's just rolled an inch too far. Means that the one that Team Mouat popped to the right-hand side of the sheet there, as you look at it, is line second shot. So
Bobby was up.
yeah,
So just 12.
they're just getting their ice for weight sorted out here before they throw. Grant was questioning the ice that he's got given, and the skip's come back to him and said, well, it needs to be the right weight to curl.
Line.
Yeah, it's quite different to the pace we saw from Bobby. And
Yeah,
although it's got plenty rotation on it, it's certainly moving, isn't it?
oh dear.
Well, that really moved
Yeah, just
quite a lot, but
just a different release and a
Yeah,
lot lighter.
a lot
That was
lighter.
the thing. Yeah,
I think that's even popped it up to be second shot. Well,
it looks it from here.
yeah. Well, I think no matter what happens, if I was
Yeah. How's your Norwegian? That sounded like that second shot.
yeah, yeah, that red's looking very vulnerable at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about the red on the right-hand side of the sheet anymore,
Not
because he's
yet,
got that
no.
saviour.
Yeah.
Come right in again. Top of the forefoot this time. Don't go too deep. First mistake from Team Mouat we've seen, and Ramsfjell has to put the pressure on them here.
Yeah, that was quite a big mistake. To be a whole stone, you know, to hit that one full noses, it drew much more than they were expecting.
I think they really got caught out from the previous stone, Bobby Lammy's stone. They were so worried that it had been too heavy, so they cut their ice and threw less weight.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a little bit heavier, a little bit further in than
Here inside.
Norway would have wanted, but
Turn.
Bruce isn't tempted to follow it down there.
No, big bailout now.
Yeah, here inside or no?
This is asking a lot though, isn't it? Because I'm not sure that I wouldn't have maybe just tried the freeze at this point. I'm not sure.
3 stones to go.
Yeah.
These guys will back themselves to make it 2 of them. Well, that's a bonus because it's taken off one side
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. But you know, I still think this is advantage Norway here.
Still in charge.
He comes round there either, you know, top 12, even round to the 8 foot, then Bruce is going to have to be
There was no hesitation about peeling a guard there. They were going run back, and to make that run back properly, you were always leaving a guard up. Good shot. They picked the top one off, but Ramsfjell got the chance to put another one right in here.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah. These guys know what they're doing, and that's obviously the way they, I mean, it does, if Bruce wants to freeze with his last one, that's the, you know, he's going to have that call. He's going to have that shot.
Potentially that's back tee, so at the moment he's got a draw on both hands. The outturn draw to the 4 foot will probably be on for the whole end. Like I said at the start of the end, that having McMillan's first corner guard is wide enough that it's not going to block his outturn draw at the 4 foot.
Yeah, he might well be glad of that yet.
That's over curling.
Maybe that's picked.
I think it has.
They were.
That's that soft handle though.
Well, that's it. You know, it's difficult to say. Was it a true pick or was it? Just his release.
So, ironically enough, Bruce Mouat's got a chance of a 2 now.
Yeah, but he's cut his ice from the draw that he played for his 2. Remember that actually we thought overdrew. Well, it did overdraw, and if it had been 4 foot weight, it certainly would have ended up further. This will be interesting again to see where it ends.
I think he might be a similar weight. He'll be just that back of the 1 foot weight, just enough to nestle in there. The guard's a long way out. The sweepers can hold line for a long time, and they've got a stone to come onto.
Yeah, Bobby's on it straight away.
Hard line if you can.
And line.
Line's okay, we're
I think the line's fine.
Line's fine, we're only.
Yeah, Bobby's not convinced about the weight though.
No, I think the weight looks okay.
Line. Gotta go line. Gotta go.
No, he was right. Needed it all.
Never off.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
They weren't generous with ice there at all.
No.
And
That's fine.
that was a good, you know, Bobby was on that, wanted to be on it right from the second it was released there, and sometimes you have to back yourself. You know, obviously the Grant was off, but Bobby just maybe should have kept the head down a little bit there. Left hammy to have a look. That's the beauty of being able to use one sweeper. The other one can stand back a little and just make sure that they're appraising the situation properly, because 2 sweepers with their head down, it's very difficult to then take a good look and see where you are on the sheet. Ooh, don't like that handle.
Although he's taking more positive this time, it's not going to catch this time. Big and high. It's okay for weight.
It's coming now. He wants to try and block the road in there for Bruce. Is that
a draw to the 1 foot required?
Control. Yeah. Do you think I can do it that way?
They're not thinking draw yet.
They're not thinking draw, yeah.
A hit here. It's just whether that yellow is far enough out that allows them to come off the centre line onto the red there, or are they thinking of using the...
Through the barrier, you through. Yeah, through the barrier.
They're not thinking draw at all.
No.
I'm still thinking draw.
I'm thinking, so 4th end, this is, you know, this could go quite wrong and give up a 2.
Well, that would be my concern. I think if there was only 1 yellow in there, I think this is the right shot. But the fact that their yellow is lying 3rd shot, they must think the draw is barely on coming round the outturn there for why they're playing this shot. But the shot's on. I mean, they've got to miscall it to tick the red off the top, really.
At barrier weight, I guess
Yeah.
they're thinking they're not going to do too much.
Yep. Hard. Whoa. Hard. Hard. Gotta go.
Wasn't far away there. So good steal.
Yeah.
Really came from that one error. But the Norwegian boys stuck to their task well, and there's certainly good advantage now.
Yeah, a couple of errors really. I mean, obviously Grant's was probably the most glaring, but Bruce's first stone there was quite short. You know, quite a bit shorter than he wanted to throw.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity at that point to pop one right on top of that yellow and really put the pressure on Norway, and I don't, you know, he would want to be making those shots.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these shots that we're talking about are all field shots, aren't they? I mean, they're down weights, they're hack weight, tap backs, draw weights, and that comes with playing on the ice.
Yeah.
All the teams here will obviously have had a week to 10 days off. Difficult to get ice in over the festive period, so there's a real chance for them all to come out and play championship curling at this time of year.
Playing themselves back into it a little. But it's quite a turnaround, you know. The first couple of ends, Mouat looked far the stronger team.
Oh, sure,
but then Norway made their two, and now they've got the steal. You know, it's fairly turned it around, actually, hasn't it? Because early doors, this looked like it was going to be one-way traffic a little, I think. But, yeah.
Perfect centre guard. At a time when, actually, I might have seen them, you know, go for the top of the 4 foot that time. You've got a 2-shot lead in a 4-end game.
Yeah, but then again, you know, I quite like the style that they're thinking, right, okay, we've got you kind of just tighten the screw a little here. Force here is good for them, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that means that they're scoring on ends 6 and 8, so yeah, good weight again. Maybe just a little bit long. Yeah,
quite short, I think.
I'd much like to have seen that another 3 feet further up.
The centre one's fair enough. You can pop another one round it closer, but you're not maybe going to double guard on the
corner.
At this stage.
I think we'll see Harstad go a bit deeper this time. So these guys are really building up for their own national junior competition. They need to win that to qualify for the World Juniors, which will be hosted in Scotland, up in Aberdeen in March. So this is all part of their build up to the juniors. That's a great stone.
It's lovely. He's certainly
settled down now.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw the guard and then pop one round it. You can't ask for more than that.
Got any of that? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The guard is long, yeah.
You don't need to get out the ring, you just need to move it.
Well, the beauty of this is they can pop it back. They're always rolling round and behind the corner. And actually, if they feather the guard, it's not a disaster because they're rolling behind their own guard that's maybe a little bit long, so it's double guard in the corner.
Yeah, and I suppose if they just nick the yellow, they'll give themselves another corner on that.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Wait there. Wait there. Yep.
Hard line.
Yep. Line on light.
We might be seeing that a little catch on the guard yet.
Yeah, I think he might just feather it. Wouldn't be the worst shot. Oh, that's a
he's
great
held
shot.
it well, yeah. Now in behind that guard.
Very good.
That was a lovely shot.
Just shows that these controlled weights, there's curl there that they can come round guards. And maybe just that centre guard was just a shade too long to allow them to come round it like that. Remember that Norway on their out-turn draw, they swept it. They maybe even overswept it in hindsight now because they've dragged it round the guard out to the other side.
Yes, absolutely. They were so keen to get it as deep into the house that they could that they maybe forgot the line was crucial there too. That was a lovely shot from Hammy though.
So Melumset are going for the shot in the house rather than ripping the guard off. Oof, great shot.
To be fair, that was the same, you know, possibly the same issue.
Yep.
Quite long.
Either
You know,
or.
just a little bit long
Yeah.
with the corner, and both teams have been able to capitalise on the fact that the guards were maybe a foot or a foot and a half further out than they would have really wanted.
Bobby's out turn has been running straight on the other lads, so it'll be interesting just to see whether they can get this round to. The call was to half stone it and roll across into the centre, so.
Yeah, it's quite a gentle weight they're playing here, isn't it? It's not too much weight at all. I'm not sure he'll get much.
No, you're good.
Nice shot.
Nice stone, yeah.
That's about perfect weight for that shot. It's actually caught it on the nose, so.
More weight than I thought you were. Something parked.
Yeah, I think Grant was obviously a little concerned there that wasn't going to have enough to pop the yellow through, but it did its job. But it does give a half stone, doesn't it, to Michael here. See if he can throw the gentle weight and see if he can get back towards the centre, maybe behind the.
He doesn't need to be too close to guard here. He can afford to catch it half stone and roll away from that guard. I think Norway want to try and take the initiative away from the corner and more into the centre of the house here, which I think is what he's
quite a bit
just
heavier.
about done. Yeah.
Too heavy, really.
Okay.
Well, it's kept the stones almost still in play, and did knock the other yellow out of play though. So Scotland are going to try and use the corner guard again, but
Yeah, he'll be able to get right round it now. It's it should be a more regulation shot to play the draw and get it totally hidden, whereas it was always hard when you're having to move another stone first.
Yeah, I think Bobby just throws quite a positive handle down there. He doesn't
Keep it going, Hammy.
get the same draw as the others, although this one seems to be moving.
Still going, Hammy. Still go. Get a bite.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, good sweeping.
Probably.
Second shot, I think.
Yeah. Early enough that they'll not be too worried.
No, there's still options for Norway though, aren't they, round behind this centre?
I like this call.
Yeah. Christian's made some nice stones. You know, he made a couple of real nailers in the last end, didn't he?
Yeah. It's got a bit of drawing to do. Just held that out a bit too long. Yeah, didn't need swept.
No, they were just too keen to get on that there.
Had to sweep it deep once they were going to be anywhere near the double.
Which it's quite flat again, but it certainly allows Bruce to roll over towards that other one and take the play away from the centre. And it'll be a brave call if Norway decide to ignore two reds in the house to come round that.
Yeah, it'll be enough to make a play on it.
Which is really a foot too long.
Yep. Hard.
Yeah, that's over curling too, so another mistake from Grant.
Yeah, I wonder if the releases are just a little bit
Different,
aren't they? You know, Bobby and Grant are getting entirely different results down that out turn. And it might just be that Bobby's a little more positive.
Yeah, it looks that way, and also down that 4-foot track. We said earlier that when you're just in that track there, it can often catch the curl more.
It's very weight dependent as well.
Yeah.
We're putting it down to the release, but you know, maybe he was a fraction down on weight compared to Bobby. But yeah, they're gonna have to watch that on this ice, maybe more so than some of the other ice they've been playing on.
The one thing is, it's taking the centre guard off. That you know, they're not going to be too worried about getting their one at least. And Ramsfjell
line was super there, but just a shade deep.
We're not shot. That's okay.
Yeah, I think that doesn't matter yet. There's plenty of time to be shot. I just think that's a curious call from Ramsfjell. Going behind the corner guard has just created a slight half chance for Mouat to get his 2 still.
Yeah, he had no need to be going anywhere near that.
I think
corner, really.
I think he had to, once the centre guard was off, he had to play the whole end about playing the force.
Way on late! Way on late! Wait on late! Line's good! Line! Line's line! Hard line!
Yeah, once they come off that line, they certainly want
Hard
to move.
ball! Hard ball!
Just caught.
Yeah. Probably
Struggling
light.
for weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, struggling for weight again, I think. I don't think Ramsfjell have any choice here. He has to do something with that, I would have thought.
Yeah, just move that one out, even if he spins himself.
Well, I think I was tight in my foot.
Well, he thinks he's line 2 anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter, but
Well, there's actually so many behind the tee now to try and get rid of it without jamming something.
Yeah.
Or he would have to, if he caught it high enough to miss the back one, he's going to be rolling a long way, isn't he?
yeah.
So, where does he put this one? Half check it? It's a big call. You touch it, then you're... It looks like it would be second shot, doesn't it?
Looks
from
second
here?
shot from here. Anywhere in the rings that's lying second shot with no double, and that's not easy.
No.
Yeah,
There's
just
not-
come up to the top of the house here. I mean, really, Ramsfeld's delighted with even a force here is fine. So
Yeah.
he's not worried about the steal at the moment, even though there's so many yellows in play. If he can be 4-3 up at 6, it's a really powerful position to be in with a hammer.
Yeah, I guess the worry is, though, you gamble too much on the force and you lose a couple, then
Yeah.
advantage gone again. But with all these stones behind the tee, there's not really... He's kind of forced himself into a corner.
Curl it over. Curl it over. Bare fart. Din linje. Ja,
See, I would have wanted this in the probably in the 8 foot, and that's come up a long way
That's a
short.
long, long way short. I don't think that's what he intended.
No, I think he wanted to be up tight to the 12-foot line, or certainly even into the 8 foot there.
Hasn't really thrown many draws, though, when you
No.
think of it, has he? Has he even...
No, he's always
He's
been
been
playing
playing a
these
lot of hits.
down weight strikes. Bruce is already looking to try and move that.
You've got to get something going, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make 10. Yeah, you've thrown it as well. Exact same angle almost. Yeah, it's what you hit. Yeah. I'll call line
It's
for
an ambitious
this
call,
roll.
this.
I'll make that too.
It absolutely is. Yeah. Get this wrong. You half your own one out and give him a draw round to the top of the 4 foot, then you're...
Yeah,
But,
exact same angle.
you know, they're, like you've said a number of times, they're super confident. They've clearly been making these shots to win, four competitions in the first half of the season. That's a good number of victories.
I guess it's just off nose, and as long as they keep the shooter in play, then they're in a good position for their 2.
Yep.
You play the draw, they're probably no different. Ah,
Close.
yeah, close. Left an open hit.
Yeah. But again, it's not, I mean...
The draw might have been no different result to that.
What's our situation with...
Oof.
I mean, it really wasn't far away at
Yeah.
all, was it? Yeah, I mean, we've seen Ramsfjell struggle accuracy-wise on some of these hits, so he has not a great deal of margin for error here. He hits it high at all, then it's right back on that yellow, and he's looking like losing a 2.
He can afford a hit and roll on the inside. I don't think he wants to be on the high side this time, which is,
No.
I'm surprised at how much ice he's taking, but
Down weight,
he's
soft.
calling them on. That's going to curl. That's going already.
I think he's on the guard.
Oh dear.
He's
It looked like a lot of ice to me. So it's obviously swung a lot.
I just think the way that he's releasing them, he's not, you know, to me, I mean, clearly he's a very talented curler and has been doing well, but I think that the release is just not consistent.
Yeah.
Some seem to be, you know, straightening off. Some seem to be a bit softer. I think that he wants to find a little more consistency with his release.
So it's completely turned the end around. From having looked like a regulation force, and Bruce Mouat was going to have to play a pretty decent shot to get his 1.
Yeah.
It's left him with a nose hit for 2, which again turns the game around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's apart from the first end when Ramsfjell played a really great shot, it's been errors that have been what's dictated the multiple scores here. It's not been great shots.
Clean it. Yep. Hard.
That's
This
curling
is
too.
going, yeah.
Hard, Bob.
Yeah, and they've lost it. So
Do you think that was a little lighter in weight than they thought they were going to get, or just?
I wonder
just
whether
totally
the ice is just swinging more. It's
Yeah.
catching them all out. Yeah, I mean, they're saying they liked it. The weight was probably about right. That's a barrier weight, really, isn't it? So
Yeah, it was fairly positive. It didn't look dramatically down for what they were looking for.
So we're in a 4-3 game here in the Mercure City of Perth Masters 2018, brought to you with the World Curling Tour. Cracking game of curling, to be perfectly honest, and we've seen Team Ramsfjell from Norway take a 4-3 lead with hammer with just 3 ends to play. So crucial 6th end. If they can score at this end, it's going to be a long way back for Scotland's Bruce Mouat. We're going to see a lot more stones in play again. Both teams are going for it, so whether Ramsfjell will defend a little bit more yet, I think he'll be keen to score here, though, won't he, Mary?
Oh, absolutely. I would be surprised if he doesn't go fairly full on for the score. Even if he gets a 1 to, you know, I think that a 2-point lead would still be fairly comfortable for him at the moment. And even if he then gives up a 2, he's got last stone, last end. I think they'll want to score.
A little bit of a wobble there from Hammy McMillan coming out.
Yeah, he's been solid in the first few ends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So they'll be looking to double guard this time, so this might be the long one first, and then he'll try and go a bit close at the house with the second, but yeah, pretty good.
Slight overdraw, over curl, but we're not
Harsh.
gonna. Yeah, firm but fair.
So Team Ramsfjell not taking any chances and leaving too much around, so
Just going through.
I wondered that was the call.
There can't be a draw round.
Yeah, I think he's coming around. I thought when he initially indicated he was just throwing the stone through, but they're coming right round.
Wow.
He doesn't want to be deep with this.
No.
I think his weight's fine.
Needs it to move a little. I think the sweepers could have been. Oh no.
Good effort.
Maybe looks. Yeah, nigh on perfect.
So go double.
Andreas has certainly had good weight the last few ends. He's actually set Norway up really well to be in this, to turn it around. You know, I think it's been key, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No, you're fine. Line's fine. Really tight.
That looked like it took a little bit of a jump there, but
Line's okay.
Yeah, good combination of 2 stones there. It's it's perfect for the lead to. If you're going to double guard, you want to throw a long one with you first, so you've got space to come round it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Good adjustment. It's not easy, isn't, you know, just to add enough to get another sort of 4 or 5 feet of running, but not slip into the house. So nice stones there by Hammy. Well done.
Yeah, I like the tick. Yeah, I think so. I'm going through all the options there. Do we draw wide and lie 2? Do we come round again and get round these guards again? I think they're calling the tick.
I think that's fair enough. If you pop it into the house, it's no real disaster. We'll see how he does with this, because his draw weight has been good.
Well, it's the first time he's been asked of a up weight, so.
Does it result his, alter his tempo for the guards in the next end? Will be interesting.
I think they like it.
Maybe overdrawing.
Caught it a bit fat. Might not have been the worst thing to have let it catch the top one, but a pretty good shot all the same.
It's that's pretty good.
His weight was good, wasn't it?
Just drew a fraction, maybe more than they wanted, but like we're saying, better to be there than. Yeah, the weight was good.
Coming right in on top again this time, so they'll obviously going to expect Ramsfjell to peel the long guard. So he wants to make sure that this is going to be in play. This is quite a key shot for the end, getting this one in the right place.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bobby peel many draws either.
Yep, T-line.
T-line's just fine then. Lots of room, so.
Weight looks perfect.
Yeah, looks a great effort. Might over curl, just
Yeah,
leave
I
it
think
there.
maybe well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Looked like it was going to finish a lot harder than that, didn't
Yeah.
it? But it just had the weight to hold it up.
So no hesitation from Ramsfjell. They'll be taking it over the top. The outside chance of maybe spinning their own yellow off. That's the corner guard at the moment as well, I think.
They're obviously, I think it's quite high.
Yeah.
Oh, good shot. They would have been happy to lose that other yellow, but first things first, you make sure of your.
Yeah, make sure you hit the top one.
And get away entirely, you know.
Yeah, to get the double there, they maybe would have had to leave a long one up there anyway. So now it'll be leaving another one. I think this one will be a bit close at the house, but they don't want to give them the chance to run it into the house. So
they're working this one hard, Rob, aren't they? I was thinking it's
just light enough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they'll like that, I think. Yeah, Sweeper's
Honesty's the best policy, isn't it?
Sweeper's just thanking him for holding it back a little bit there. Similar type of shot. Probably an easier chance of getting the double this time.
A little bit closer together.
Yep.
And they've watched the line one more time, so I think he is closer to it, isn't he?
Oh, he was close. Yeah. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, it's driving into the pack as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael would have liked that one, I think.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been too disappointed if it had careered into the red in the house, even if it had left a red line shot.
Yeah, there's a bit of work for both teams actually here to make sure of a result that they want, but yeah, I think Bruce will be quite happy at the minute.
I think he'll go one more guard, maybe even 2 more guards before he starts bringing the play into the house. They've got that corner, so they can potentially nose hit and check behind the corner guard.
I'm giving him more ice now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they are, Grant. I think he's just said there that his are moving more than the others.
Yeah, it might be the stones.
It's probably served the same
talking
purpose.
about releases. Well, Norway are still having to hit it, so they couldn't ignore it. This
Hit it
is
this
doing
time.
something, yeah. Well, that's certainly that's a lovely shot for them.
Yeah, great shot. So at what point does Bruce come in? Does he throw one more? Yeah.
That wee biter might yet be useful for Bruce too.
Well, I think it'll maybe end up. It takes the blank off, doesn't it? And at some point, Bruce is going to have to move this yellow. So probably with his first, he'll maybe try and pop it back. He might even be patient enough to leave it with his last stone. He'll just pop it, but he's going to move it right back
That's
into
dangerous then, though, isn't it? You know, if Norway get the chance to really close things up, or make it super awkward.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. Now we're going to have to
another
chase the
peel.
guard again. Yeah, interesting to see. We'll see throughout the weekend how these red stones behave, whether the 5 and 6, if they're playing them through on their numbers, actually do move a little bit more.
Oh.
Ooh. Said the crowd.
That was not what they needed.
No.
So it's left the guard up, and Team Mouat are line shot. So it's given them something to come around. We thought they were going to have to make a play in it at some point, but the Norwegians have done it for them, which is turned the end round massively.
Yeah.
Interesting to see all three of them down there just talking through the call.
Like we said earlier, Bobby's used to giving his opinion and having an opinion and discussing these last couple of shots with Bruce, so it must be difficult for him not to continue to do so.
Yeah, I think there's no hesitation. The one call is you come right round it, top of the 4 foot, as long as there's no double on off it.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be times when 3 heads are better than 2, but there'll be times, I guess, when it'll maybe put another option in the pot when it's not needed.
As long as Bruce is clear in his mind what he's happy with.
Felt heavy.
His initial call was he was heavy, but they're calling it for line.
Line's good. You're still narrow. Still narrow. Fight the 4.
The boys like it, but just tight on line.
Fight the 4 light, Hammy.
I don't think it's good before, is it?
No.
Hard.
Maybe left that a bit too long.
Do you try and roll in off the winger?
That's a pretty perfect shot. They didn't want to go an awful lot deeper, or they did have the double off the outside one.
No, I don't mind. I quite like the hit and roll off there because you've always got that yellow to run in. If it doesn't work out, but maybe you are putting yourself under pressure.
I think you go run back with your first one, and you've potentially got a double off the reds if they fail.
Yeah.
Even if he just halves this off. Well, he knows how to do this because they did it with the last stone.
That's right.
Different thrower.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch his release. Can't bear it. Oof.
Must like it. Reasonably close. Pretty good shot.
Oh, that couldn't have worked out an awful lot better for him.
I think it's just spun off though to leave red county. I think he's got pretty unlucky actually, because he played a great shot.
Yeah.
Nothing much has changed.
A wee bit of pressure for Bruce, him his last stone, they swept well to get it down to just short of the 4 foot. So he doesn't have an awful lot of room to play with because,
unless you want to go right
you know,
on
he
the
could.
button, you're leaving him a shot for 2. I think anything's leaving him a shot for 2. If he goes here, he's playing this way. Well, that's very flat.
I am right though. That is the red that's counting shot at the moment.
Yeah,
Surely.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
worried
so,
about a
yeah.
shot for 2, so they're trying to put it somewhere that there isn't a double.
How where we put it this deep, he's always probably coming off that.
Yeah.
You can't really catch it too thin.
So they're trying to work out where do they put it that
You just want to force and think you
he hasn't got the double off it.
Okay, same again then. See me like that there, force it. I think that's your shot to force, but if you want to try and tempt him into something, I think you cover the lid.
Great dialogue between the team here. So
But you leave them a shot for 2, which is probably too much for us to come back from.
yeah, they don't want to give away a 2 because that might be game over, is what Grant Hardy's saying to his team.
Interesting to see that Hammy stays out of it though, doesn't
I'd
he?
rather force the draw. I like here, and he's going to hit the.
He'll be up the other end cleaning the stone, waiting for Bruce
Yeah.
to come and play, and sometimes
Maybe
that's fine.
Thinking about the splits and working out right what time are we going to give the skip here. They know where they want to put it. So
Fully 8.
so the dialogue is, so they've decided that they're going to go fully 8 to completely eradicate the chance of a double. They're all going to leave them pretty level here, so there's no double on for 2. They're quite happy with the force. They think that they can come back from being 2 down, but they can't come back from being 3 down.
Which you'd have to agree with. You know, it's 2
Well,
ends
we
to
got
play.
them.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
Tons of room! Tons of room!
And the sweepers are
Got to
obviously
go, Bob!
thinking
Bob,
it
he's
needs
tuck
a low.
anything. Bobby! Same hog to hog, boys. Oh, go back button then, go back button.
Yeah, I think Hammy might have over.
Fine that.
Well, it's a very, very skinny, steep double for 2. I'd be relatively happy with that. I mean, it's deep enough that there's a regular shot there for 1, but
Oh, it's plan B.
it's so skinny for the double. I'll be surprised if they go for this. I think they'll just take their 1 to go 2 up, wouldn't they?
Well, you know, perhaps this is when one of the front end needs to come up and say, you know what, we make a safe 1 here. We're 2 shots up.
With 2 to play.
If we go for this, which is not by any means guaranteed, we're going back into a peeled game potentially. Yeah.
Albeit hammer at 7.
I don't like this. You know what, there is a danger with his release, dare I say again. He could almost if he's a little wide on this,
He might get his 2.
he could chip out his own and give up a 3.
Could nose hit this and get a 2.
Yep.
On it early, so they're giving it a chance anyway, because he just needs to almost quarter stone. Oh, great effort, but that just shows you how difficult the stone
That was
was.
a very difficult shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I think take your 1, go 2 up, dictate play in the, in the next end, and even if you lost a 2.
It was really a steal from nowhere actually, because they controlled the end relatively well up till then. A couple of really good run backs early on from Team Mouat. So we're all square again. So big swings in the game here from one ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it's we've not really been able to call it, have we? You know, even partway through the end, you think it's looking in the one team's favour, and then it transpires that actually the other team scores at the end of the day. So,
well, we're in a 2-end game all square, and Ramsfjell with hammer and 7. They're just having a chat amongst themselves, just say, well, what are we going to do here? Are we going to go in the house, or are we going to go for our 2 here and hope that we can hold them to a 1 at the last? I think there's no risk that Team Mouat will be going centre guard for sure.
Lines of hair tight.
yeah,
Half foot, no.
They're maybe thinking this is going to overdraw though, which
Line up, like,
they
go
certainly
line low.
don't want to do at this stage, and
Halfway along.
it's still moving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
Just
one
a hair
curling?
tight.
Or is he tight?
He was a hair tight there.
Yeah.
You were tight, that one.
Just letting each other know.
Yeah. Well,
So Ramsfeld's avoiding going around the guard anyway. He's called it in the house though, rather than a corner guard. So I guess what that's saying is I'm going to keep my options open for a blank here.
yeah, he'd be happy with the blank here,
So-
absolutely.
T-weight out to the wing.
He does not want forced to a one, that's for absolute certain sure.
Yeah.
Body box.
I'm glad he hasn't gone round the guard. You know, for him it would have been a fairly naive call, I think, to come in.
Well, we saw him doing it earlier on in the game, but I wondered whether they go corner guard with their first one here. But he's gone in the house, so it's out the way anyway, and it's not doing any harm. It's a good saviour if they need it.
Yeah, you often wonder if it's a catcher for when you're trying to ping
Peel.
guards though, isn't it?
Another guard here from Hammock
Line's
McMillan.
good.
Yeah, looks a little heavier.
Line's good.
Calling top 12, so
Good.
this might be in the house.
Whoa. Whoa. Line's Where do you want it? Line's
Now it's
fine.
going.
Here.
It's
Yeah.
once they start to draw down that side.
Really
Might
tight.
actually catch
Really
the guard.
tight.
No, he's okay.
Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter.
His
Guard's
first
good.
guard was so off the, so far off the centre line.
Good there, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they called it. That's what they wanted it. I think I liked it shorter than that.
Yeah, but this is where now having that.
Anti-loot.
Yeah, what can they do now?
Yeah.
Really, they could take the guard. Take the guard and potentially leave a left-hand corner guard, but they're not taking any chances. They're coming back into the house again. It's almost a discard, this.
I think the problem with the tick, when they're so far out, you're going to leave something, aren't you? You're going to leave a guard somewhere that at the end of the day might
They've
might
got
come
hammer.
back to bite you. It's off the centre line.
Body
They've
box.
got
Board.
peelers coming up. You know, they can probably, yeah. I don't think I'd have been tempted by the tick in that situation. That young man has had good weight, hasn't he? You know?
Yeah, another great shot.
Super line.
No. I played that run back and it just ran where you want to hit it.
So Mouat not letting things develop out here. He's going to take these off.
Whoa. Whoa. Clean.
Even if he doesn't get the double here, he's probably going to roll
Other
in the
way,
centre of the
yep,
house.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't want to be losing a multiple score this
Okay.
No.
time, so he doesn't want Norway to be able to build anything.
No, it's
Well, he's
okay.
double guarded. He's still happy with the force here, which is all he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Ramsfjell's decided, right, he's just going to try and get a blank out of this. So the cat and mouse continues.
Quite a lot of ice for the peel.
Yep. Yep. All right. Okay. Get up.
He's happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be the most straightforward end we've seen so far, and it's not a surprise really at this stage of the game that they're being a little more cagey.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is that they're obviously both setting themselves up for the 8th, clearly, but run a few stones, get the time clock saved as well, so it'll buy them some time for when they're needing to think about it for the real hard end of the game.
They're fairly well balanced. Both of them have, over 6 minutes left. I don't think there's any danger of either of them running out of time, but there was a wee danger of that not getting over the hog line.
That couldn't be any closer.
Got a question mark over that being slow as well. So you probably.
So they're noting these differences with the stones, and they'll have a little book. I would think that they'll be taking a record of that. So they're thinking that number 4, if it is number 4, is potentially a little slow.
I wondered whether they might have just taken the one off the top of the house when they had the chance, because this is so far long that they can probably come round this.
Yes,
Taking no
almost
chances.
any weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They might have to consider that one at the top of the house when, at the end of the day, if they're trying to come in for a...
Yeah, for a blank. So, I mean, that could be the only stone in play, or more likely is they'll probably come round it.
There'll be something round it, yeah.
Leave a double
Don't
on.
mind an inch less, even with this.
Might be hard to earn a blank if there's two in the house.
Yeah, and then you end up trying to use that one to make a double, and they don't want to lose another one, I don't think. Giving up a steal at this point isn't ideal either. That just the run of play turns back to Team Mouat, doesn't it?
Whoa! Over and up!
Yes, Grant Stone's moving around a lot out there.
Yeah, and that's on the other hand, isn't it? You know, that's it's the out turn we were seeing draw more earlier, and that's in turn that's still drawing.
And
So
it's still swinging. That swung probably a stone and a half more than the other stones. So he's taking no chance this time. I think he's going for the shot in the house this time, isn't he?
I think that's
just the
wise.
fact that it's not a centre guard.
Exactly, it's a little bit further over. It gives him a little bit more room. This is quite a lot of ice, though. You want to be sure that you're getting one of the two, but
Playing down weight
if
too.
they're calling the sweeping on this early, then they're getting one of the two.
That's on the guard. Oh no, he's good. He's good. They held it. That's a great shot. Nice controlled weight.
Well, clearly that was what they wanted. They must have wanted to hang around, and quite right too. It makes Mouat's going to have to chase that one, and it doesn't give him the luxury of drawing behind that guard, which I think is too long.
Yeah. Well, they're shaping up for a blank now. There's going to have to be a big swing around for this not to be a blank.
Well, stranger things have happened. You know, I think you can't put the blank on the board until you've thrown that last shot. They're still. We've seen even the top curlers just give it a little bit more ice than they actually need, and not make contact with the stone that they're trying to peel. So I'm always happy once it's made contact.
Well, Christian Foss will want to hang around here again. He's played a good shot with his first. A little bit more weight with his second on the in-turn. This is proper strike weight for him. Maybe trying to get enough action to come into the house rather than just nose it and roll out.
Well, wrong side of the stone. That's when they've made the mistake. That's the mistake they've made, haven't they? They've never overdrawn and rolled further than they wanted. They've just never managed to get the roll on the right side. So no options for Bruce other than to come round here.
As long as you're this side, you're probably not rolling in.
Okay, give me less ice then.
There.
Yeah,
That
doesn't look a lot, does it? But it's probably a reflection of how long that guard is. They're already saying that if we're going to be not behind the guard, be right past it on the right-hand side of the sheet as we're looking at it just now, so that if you're top 12 and they try and peel the one in the house, they're not actually going to be in the house. It might even leave a second corner guard up there. So this is almost creating about position the stones for his last one at the moment.
Yeah. This isn't the one that's going to score at the end of the day. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
This is the one that gives us the chance to do what we want with our last one.
They're almost trying to make sure that they've got something to come around with their last. I don't think this will be deep. I think this is just top 12.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they want to come too far in at all. Sweeper's happy with the weight anyway, so
Line's nice. Line's good.
we just have to see how
Line's
this is
good.
going to
Line. Hard line.
go in a bit now.
Well in. Hard line. Line. Whoa. Oh, we're almost over curling.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's going to be out the other side.
Yeah.
Just about where they wanted it, but it's just a bit deep actually.
Yeah, I think further than they wanted, and certainly drew more than they expected.
Yeah.
I guess it's had that another couple of feet of running to finish the draw. But clearly playing a down weight here to.
Yeah.
That's a lot of ice, isn't it? It's almost as much ice as Bruce took for the
For
draw.
the draw, yeah.
Sant? Får vi rullen bak, så det
Yeah, I
kjapp
think
over
this is a
fra det,
lot
og
of
det blir
ice.
vanskelig for dem å rulle bak på den.
We'll see. We'll see how it
Sant der ute
pans
er
out.
vel 80-70 kanskje?
Yeah, he's obviously wanting to hit and stick, stay in play. Probably isn't vital to go around the guard at all.
Yeah, I think he maybe wants to stay away from the guard, Rob,
Yeah,
because clearly then Bruce
Yeah.
is going to have to make. Well,
Yeah.
Bruce is going to hit it, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's not going to give up the chance
Yeah.
to lose two. But
Hard!
gosh, it's down weight.
Hard! Hard!
They're working this one hard.
oh no.
Oh heavens!
I didn't think the guard was in play there.
Not with 2 feet of ice. Maybe a foot and a
So-
half.
Altfor lite is.
Gosh, that was a bad throw.
Har en svikk, så vi ikke står
So really, Grant's determined this is going to be a force-end, not a steal.
Yeah.
They've got, the blank doesn't look so
No.
so nailed on now.
Exactly. That's the thing. You know,
Points for forcing.
it's so difficult to.
The only way this isn't good for us is if there's a blank. And the only way we get a blank is if we try and go here and go here. You agree?
Yeah.
I know what you mean by going here.
It's interesting to hear them. Grant's certainly quite
The weight's not important.
strong with his
I think so.
opinions and
Really
direction.
anywhere, it's good.
I think he's right in this
Yeah,
instance.
yeah.
I agree fully that the risk of blank here is would be a disaster for them.
Especially from the position they're in now. They're in a commanding position to, to make sure it's a force or in fact a steal.
And the temptation to get a steal, you're one down playing the last without the hammer. It's not a great position to be in. So
Bobby, you're curling early.
One up without they would be. But yeah, it's not. No, we'll see how this pans out.
you've got to get this counted though.
Really got to hold the line. Killed it.
Oh.
Looked like he killed it.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of errors. So the blank is back on.
Thanks, man. This is it's been a topsy-turvy end. This from being
Klokka er 1 etter at han slapp.
what we thought was going to be the most straightforward of ends, and you know, I
Just turn it in.
wouldn't
Instead of
put
going
my
through
I wouldn't put my house on this being a blank just yet.
Interesting
With half the ice, we're obviously up in the weight, but
psychology there that Bruce had wanted to play the come around and got talked out of it, and then the skip doesn't throw the shot. It just yeah, they seem to like it. Just
yeah,
a regulation blank.
give it all day long. Looked like a blank from halfway through the end.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce will be thinking that all I had to do was draw the house there, but in the back of his mind all the time, he wasn't 100% convinced that that was the shot he wanted to play. He was always wanting to play towards the centre of the house there and maybe try and get a 2 out of it, but it was the right call, it was the right tactic. It was just a muddled mind maybe when he threw the stone.
Yeah, but that was a bad error. Of all the errors there have been, which there have been a few
Yeah.
on both sides, that was certainly when all he needed to be was somewhere in the house.
But we're in a 4-all game, nothing's changed. Ramsfjell has hammer. Same tactics I think we'll see here. I think we'll see more aggressive steal. We'll see one long, one short from Team Mouat, and Ramsfjell will be ticking guards for sure this time.
Yeah, are you going to make a
Line's nice.
call on it, Rob? Who do you think's
Just
going to?
past your brush.
Let's see where this first stone goes.
Oh, that's not really much of a gamble, is it?
Down.
Fine, Hammy.
Well, they've given themselves a great chance anyway.
Nå holder vi backline på den isen her.
So you're making a
Nå
call
holder vi
yet?
backline.
Or will we see how it goes halfway through the end? When we get to skip stones, maybe we'll have a better idea.
I think both skips at the moment will be reasonably comfortable. I don't think Bruce Mouat will still be backing themselves to make a steal. They've created enough opportunities that that they'll be able to. But at the end of the day, the game's all in the hands of the guy with the last stone here. So Ramsfjeld's the favourite by far.
I think it's interesting, you know, the momentum has shifted, you know,
This is a good stone.
back and forward to both teams. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Probably going to go halfway tight this time, do we?
I think that young man's been
I think he's played a great game.
man of the
hasn't he?
match.
Remember, he had a tick at the sixth end coming this way, and I think they actually miscalled it. I think he played it pretty well.
There's a little more through it. Right, maybe a little more.
Both leads have played well. Hammy's played, his weight's been there. He's sometimes maybe overdrawn off the centre line a little, but their weights have certainly been very good. They've each thrown guards and then been able to come round it. And
I'd like to have seen him close at the house with his centre guards. I think both teams have played guards that are maybe not really reflecting how much curl there can be in this ice. So
then we've also seen draws, I mean, that are only getting a couple of feet of ice. So maybe it's not moving as much as we're actually thinking it usually does, or it has done in the past.
well, we gave this Andreas the kiss of commentator's curse for saying how well he's played, so he's got another chance to play the tick here. I think he's good again.
Well, he's got to be close if they're... Oh, he's, I think he skipped, maybe overswept that a little. They could have...
He's pretty good.
Pretty good. You're not going to complain.
The one thing is that there's plenty of catchers on both sides now, so it's
Keep making them good.
they'll need to keep concentrating to get these peels right.
Keep making them good.
Probably still want to be quite long with this.
Yeah, to make use of the
Straight on
catchers
it.
anyway, don't you? He was certainly long with his last guard, wasn't he, when they just dragged it over the
Yeah,
hog line, so...
Where you want it?
I think they like it.
Certainly halfway, more than halfway. It's not getting caught on the reds anyway,
No.
so potentially a little couple of feet too deep, a few feet too deep.
Maybe early enough in the end that outside chance of a
Dan.
nose guard yet.
Whoa. Whoa, Mike.
Not from this one, I think.
It's not nosing.
He's peeled well, to be... Oof. To be fair. Nearly gave him the commentator's curse.
Well, it's 4 points in the book. He's done exactly what he was asked.
We were on it, actually, when he let it go. It's like,
Yeah.
gee. And that can be enough, can't it, just to hold it up at that weight. It's dangerous just to pounce them a little bit, these peels.
Same spot.
Over curling.
Hard.
Yeah, it's slightly curling over. As long as it's over the hog, it's okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't like it anyway.
they just want that to...
No.
Well, there's actually bringing the corner guards into play. I mean, he's saying you can actually afford to peel it into this, but they've got to watch and not just leave a better guard in those corners. Those corners shouldn't really be in play.
No, they're far enough. They're far enough out.
Just the single peels, all they should be thinking about.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Mike. Mike. No.
Yeah, I think he's made the single peel, which is all he needs to do. Oh,
Enda bedre.
yeah, he's happy enough. I was just worried about the jam there. If you
Yeah.
jammed it on the higher than that, it might just have spun
Yeah,
back
you-
onto the front of the house.
You certainly don't want any danger of it coming back in. So
Up
I
here.
think you're right. I think sometimes teams are tempted into the double peel when actually the single, in instances like that, is enough.
Should have room. You're room.
Where are you?
It's a bit closer, maybe.
Yeah, I think if it's over, it's good. They're going to have
Just needs
to.
sit, Hammy.
They're just going to be peeling. So
Yeah, but that's their last kind of not free one, but you know the next.
yeah, they need to start thinking about
Mhm.
what else can they do. This is too easy for Team Ramsfjell at the moment.
En.
Do they come around and try and freeze the corner yellow,
En.
force them into an error, and then put the guard up?
Yeah.
I think we'll see a.
One more guard, it looks like.
It looks like.
Where are you going? Long. You might as well go the other side.
Just over is fine.
You might as well go further over.
Yeah, I don't think this is putting enough pressure on the Norwegians. You know, they've done pretty well at peeling these guards. They're
Yep.
letting them play the same hand. They're letting them play.
Here.
Looks
Yeah.
looks a
That's
bit deeper
fine.
this time though.
Back button. Back button if you can. Okay.
Well, that's not where it was intended to be. Slight concentration lapse there for
Too many thinking about that.
Yeah.
for Grant, I think.
Yeah, he was straight down looking at his shoe, whether he picked something up and it disturbed
Yeah,
him.
and
But
then maybe gave it a little bit just to
Yeah.
make sure it was still in play.
that's going just a peel. Ooh. Sometimes just changing things makes it slightly different. Made
Yeah,
them
he
play a
seemed
different
to-
shot.
I think that was heavier than he'd been
Yeah.
throwing.
He's been
Um,
throwing a nice controlled weight the whole game, hasn't he? First time he's thrown the real up weight.
Yeah, now you see, it's crazy, isn't
Yeah,
it? This
halfway
game
Yeah.
has been a crazy game. This was looking like Norway's end
Good ice.
all the way through, and
I
now
like that.
potentially
Halfway.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Ramsfjell's going to have to
Yep.
play something a little tricky.
Well, he's still got the 8 foot. Mouat's going to go centre guard. Ramsfjell peels guard. Mouat then has to come into the button. So still advantage Ramsfjell, but certainly a real
Okay,
outside
alright.
chance for Team Mouat now.
Line's okay.
hold the line. Hold the line.
Yeah, they obviously think that once they come off this is going to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a lot of weight on it. So it's a long guard. Now, does Ramsfjell,
Yeah, he's got a choice now,
what
isn't
does
he?
he do? Yeah, this is a tricky one. You know,
Hvis vi spiller en hit and roll nå,
I think I'd be tempted to go for the one in the house.
så har vi
Ooh,
retningen på
I
neste.
don't think I'd be
Ja,
drawing.
den ligger så høyt, du kjenner jo den.
Yeah, I think I'd be going for the one in the house.
Ja, hvis vi piler,
But
og
don't
han
miss
drar
it.
her, så blir det-
Yeah,
Catch the
yeah,
guard.
yeah.
Ja. Selv om jeg bare stusser den og han drar bak, så er akkurat samme
But
opplegg.
that's a long guard. If you
Yeah.
get that one off the house, then, you know,
Bare spille
yeah, you have to. You have to all day long, I think, go for the.
i sted, ta noen is.
Oh my goodness, is he thinking of drawing back there?
Nå har vi jo linja der. Ja, skal ha den her på. Så gjør den,
Yeah.
og han drar her, så har vi isen til neste.
The one thing about
No, no, no.
them going for the one in the house is that if they end up nosing it,
Andreas hadde jo softbilene,
it's going to
han
be
fikk omtrent så mye.
even easier for
De var nesten
Mouat
vant til
to
å spilte
play the
det.
killer
Ja,
stone.
så de vant, ja.
So he really wants to roll this probably into the open.
I'd be throwing peel.
Yeah.
That,
Well,
yeah,
you catch one or the other.
exactly. Centre line, kind of. Oh no, I don't like this. This is.
Bare litt hard, da.
Yeah, this has got disaster written all over it, I think, for Ramsfjell. He noses it, Bruce comes round, but anyway, harbinger of doom that I am.
Well, he'll maybe he's looking to roll to the other side, so that's going to curl.
He might well rip the top guard yet.
Well, they could leave it
It's
now.
only back ring.
Whoa,
It's on the top guard, isn't it?
yep,
Decided for.
whoa, yep.
Yeah, this is. That's about where
Well,
you really didn't want to put it.
yeah, for me, that's not done anything.
Anders.
It's actually given them a double guard, so good chance to
You know,
come round on the in-turn
Yeah.
and play the killer draw.
I cannot believe he chose to play that weight, and I think that's because he's not confident with his up weights, and I think that's because of his release.
Don't know what it would do.
Mate, that's good then. Yeah, leaving the button.
Yeah, that's
Split the T-line.
Yep.
this is definitely advantage Bruce.
Well, he's always got the one. He's always got the button. So even if Mouat makes this, Ramsfjeld's still got an open out turn.
But when did we last see him make a draw? Play a draw even.
Yeah.
You know, I think that,
Okay.
yeah, I'm putting my 10 pence on Bruce Mouat and Cole.
Going in
Still going to make his first shot as well.
I think that's all right.
Okay.
He's taking slightly more, but it doesn't look a lot of ice. This is the line they took for the draw shot at the very first practice, so they'll have this line pretty well in their heads.
Yeah, they threw that again with Grants though and didn't get the line that the
Line's
result
good.
they were looking
Wee
for.
bit light.
Line's good. You're a little narrow. Yep. Line.
little narrow.
Yeah. Gotta go. Hard.
Maybe my 10 pence should have stayed in my pocket.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Hard. Hard.
Whoa.
Probably just heavy enough, maybe. They couldn't afford to sweep it too hard. Just like we said, it didn't look like a lot of ice. That was just the edge of the 8. I think they were taking more than that earlier in the game, but
I don't think that they've got the ice right for many of these draws. They got away with it when they had the free draw for 2, which overdrew by a foot more than they were expecting. And I think that and then remember when it was earlier, must have been 2 ends ago, when he was playing the draw and it came right out the other side and gave advantage back to Norway. I think they've under-iced
yeah.
a number of times. But
Well,
there's nothing to say that
open hit
he'll
for
make
Magnus.
this hit.
He can afford to just half this out, though. Yeah, they like it.
Looks like I've lost 10 pence, Rob. Yeah, well,
Yeah, so
there we go.
a great win. That's probably a coupon buster for many of the spectators out there. Bruce Mouat would be expected to win that game, but they're not eliminated from the competition. It's a triple knockout, which means that they'll drop down to the B competition and
Might
fight
make
their
them
way
a
back
good
up
buy
again.
in the Calcutta. That might just have been a tactical wee loss there to bring themselves into the lower bracket of price band.
But a great attacking game of curling, lots of stones in play, terrific coverage again, great to hear the teams mic'd up with their dialogue and tactics. So thanks to you, Mary, for joining me for our opening game of the 2018 Mercure City of Perth Masters.
Thanks, Rob.
Ramsfjell 7, Mouat 4, and we'll hopefully see some more action from them later on. Thank you for our sponsors, Mercure Hotels, and our production team, the World Curling Tour, for bringing the action forward. We'll see you later on.
I'll be back tomorrow. Will you be back later?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. Bye just now.